Look what I just got from my brother, my parents, my husband, with my tax refund. It's a brand new camera. Can you show me on lunch how to use it and take really good pictures like you do? So I get this a lot with people who want to be able to take nicer pictures, and they know that the way to be able to do that is with a better camera. And this is a DSLR, which is a digital single lens reflex camera. They have replaced the days of the film, basically, but there are still film shooters that are out there. But you do get a lot of people, when it comes in a box, there's a lot of pieces and parts, and people are like, there's cords, and there's like attachments, and I don't know what to do with all this. So I do get a lot of questions about that. What I'm going to share with you today is just simply how to assemble a DSLR very basically and take a photo. So the first thing that I'm going to do when I look at it is I'm going to pick out a lens. Usually when you buy your initial DSLR, it's going to have a kit lens with it, which is going to give you one range of choices, and it's probably not going to be the best. You can upgrade later though, most usually. This is a 24 to 70. It gives me a range. So I can go from 24 millimeters to 70 millimeters, up close to far away. I don't have to do a lot of moving. This is a 50 millimeter. This is typically a portrait lens. It's called the Nifty 50. It's only $99, and you just stick it on there, but you have to move because it's a fixed lens. So if you don't like how it looks when you compose it, you have to move closer or further away in order to be able to get the picture framed the way you'd like. Otherwise, you have to crop it out afterwards. This is a 100 millimeter, which can also be used as a portrait lens, but it's also a very close detail shot. So if you want to take pictures of bugs and things like that, this would be your go-to lens. So the first thing I'm going to do, always make sure your camera is off, because it's a working mechanism in there with the sensor. So you want to make sure that it's off and not you don't want to leave this exposed at all, because it's going to be bad for your camera. So I'm going to use my 24 to 70, and I'm going to remove the lens cap. Again, do not let this touch anything. Take this off, and I'm going to line the red dot up, and it'll click. And you can hear it click on there, and you know that it's there. Please remember to take this off. I have been at weddings waiting for the bride to come down, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I changed my lens, and I forgot to take this off. That's a little nerve-wracking. So the next thing that we have to do now that we've got our camera lens attached is we're going to bring the battery in. Now, I have actually an attachment on my camera. This lower part is a special part that I bought so that I can get two batteries in there at once. Have a backup battery. If you're going to go out and take portraits or you're going on a photo shoot, you want to make sure that you have a backup battery in case, because nothing is worse than having it run out and then you don't have a backup. And so it's like the shoot is done, because you really need a battery to make the camera operate. Works better that way. The next is a CF card, and you don't need a lot of those. In this case, this shoots video too, which I'm not going to get into, but you need at least a 16 gigabyte for video. This is an 8. It holds a lot of pictures on there, but it depends on what size you make your pictures. This is a 21 megapixel camera, so it takes up a lot of space on your card. So I typically fill this up and carry this around with me so that I make sure, especially in weddings and things like that, where I'm shooting for 12 hours, I would want to make sure not run out of cards, because you don't want to be going back and deleting unwanted images while your bride's getting ready or something. So usually it's just better to aim ahead and have that on there. So there's a little door on the side, and you flip that up, and your CF card just goes right in there. And then you shut it, and it snaps right into place. Most things snap when they're doing it correctly. They crack when they're breaking. So don't force anything. Just try to do it slowly and make sure you get it right the first time. So everything is on there. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to turn it on. It has a little screen. It'll show you everything, it'll tell you that you have a card in there. It'll show you your picture when you take the preview. As far as the settings go, there's 3 major things that you need to know if you're going to shoot in manual. When you first get your camera, you're probably going to want to shoot in program mode or automatic mode. Automatic mode is going to be the little green square that's on there. Program mode is the P mode. And what this means is that you're allowing the camera to make the decisions about your exposure for you. You're letting the camera make those decisions because it's a computer. It's very smart. It will do that for you. However, when you feel more comfortable after taking some pictures and you're thinking, I want to have some more creative control over what I'm doing, I want to do something different with the lighting, I want to make the background out of focus and make the foreground, like the person in the foreground, really in focus, then you can start changing some of those options while you're shooting. But the three things when you're dealing with exposure, if you're shooting in manual mode, is the ISO, which is the sensitivity to light. It's the camera's sensor sensitivity to light. You have an ISO setting, which you can raise or lower. The higher it is, the noisier your pictures are going to be. You also deal with your aperture and your shutter speed. And the shutter speed is how fast the little window goes down and clicks. If you're doing sports pictures, you want it to be super fast so you can catch somebody in midair, catching a football or whatever. If you're going to do, you know, the aperture is the size of the hole. So the skinnier the hole is, the more in focus everything is from here to the horizon. When you have a bigger hole, the aperture is larger, then it's going to be a higher number, and it's going to be, you know, she's in focus and everything behind her is blurry and you can't really make it out. And again, that's an artistic thing that you can do to change within camera when you start shooting in manual. So, I've got everything all set up, so now I just need a model. Katie's going to go up in the model for me. So when you pose your person, usually I'd say the first 10 minutes of a shoot is just crap. It's just, we're going to talk, we're going to have fun, we're going to, you know, and then they start getting used to it. Because usually you put people behind a camera and they're just like, oh my God, I don't like this. And especially if they come in going, I don't really like my pictures being taken, but my husband is here and he's wanting me to do it, or my wife is making me do it, that kind of thing. So you just got to get people relaxed and then they'll be all right. With men, shoot them front on. Okay, because men want to be broad. Men want to be, you know, they want to be wider. Women, yeah, no, okay? Don't have me, whenever someone says they're going to take my picture, I'm automatically like this. So that's what you're going to do. You're just going to go kind of sideways. Yep. I'm going to have you use this arm and switch legs though. So this way. Face me. Face me. And you're going to put your hand on your hip. And lean forward on this hip. So rock your hips back and forth. There you go. But not that much. Just a little. There you go. And always fix their necklaces, because I don't like doing that in Photoshop afterwards. So again, we're going to shoot her a little bit from the side, and watch fingers, make sure fingers are nice. You can do it, just keep your hands together. There you go. And another thing, with women, so when my arm is down like this, it's flat, and that's not pretty. You know, women don't want that going on in a picture. The first thing they're going to do is, can you fix that in Photoshop? And I'll be like, for $120, yes I can. You didn't listen to me the first time when I told you to get your arm away from your body. So with women, we're going to always make sure that they just move their arm a little bit away from their body, because then that takes that flatness out of there, and it just makes the arm look more attractive. So yeah, I have her posed, and I would not have those sunglasses on in the shoot, but that's okay. We're not going to do that. And you want to always watch the background, because this is not attractive. You always want to look for something where it's like plain or pretty. If it's backlit, you want to light them from the front, so that if the sun's behind her, it's going to totally make the front of her, you know, washed out. You're going to need to put a flash on there and flash some light into there to highlight it. Okay, so when I'm looking at her, I'm going to frame it the best I can, and when you push halfway down on this, there's going to be some red lights that blink inside there when you're looking. And those red lights are going to tell you exactly where you need to put your focus. Wherever that red light is blinking is where the focus is. Put it on the eyes. How many times, I've seen this on channel news, like the news station, the camera guys talking to somebody, and the background's in focus, some dude walking a dog, and the person being interviewed is all blurry, and I'm like, who taught that class? Like, where did that guy learn that from? Focus on the right person. So make sure the dot is actually focused on the person's eye, because that's where everybody's eye is drawn in the photograph. Okay, so look at me, good. Put your chin down just a little, good. Excellent. Turn more toward the audience, please. And face toward me. Good. Lower the eyebrows, relax. And then make them laugh. And when they laugh, those are the pictures that sell the most, because if they're in this moment where they're like, ha 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 ha, they're just having fun, that's the kind of candid shots that people want to see. Not necessarily school pictures where they're like all uncomfortable. And that gets more comfortable as the shoot goes on. So basically we went over how to go ahead, thank you very much, how to assemble the DSLR, get the battery in there, get everything working, get the lens attached, how to pick a lens. Again, this is really fast, I know, I apologize. And then we went over a little bit about posing. So basically, you know, this is how you use a DSLR to make a portrait, and you can use any camera you have, and you can still be able to do this and take beautiful pictures. But, you know, during Christmas, you know to ask for a DSLR now, and always shoot Canon. Thank you.